Welcome back to the channel, guys. So I just want to do a quick video about God, why I believe in God, and I want to give you some evidence, some pretty much what I call concrete evidence that God is real. So first of all, I just want to say a little prayer to all the people in California, Los Angeles and that, who are suffering from the wrath of God. Basically, this could be the wrath of God. And this leads into one of the bits of evidence, which is called insurance. So in your insurance policy and in a lot of documents when you buy your phone, and if you're somebody like me who actually reads it, you'll find out a little bit saying your item is not covered under insurance policy through acts of God. So if you're in California and you might not get insurance because they'll turn around and say it's an act of God. And you're going to be like, what are you going to say to them? You're going to turn around and say oh, well, there's no such thing as God, so you have to pay out. Well, I'd like to see you try that one in court. So unless you can prove somebody set these fires and it wasn't an act of God, but the way they look at it is trees burn, and that is in itself an act of God. But the only fight you've got against it is finding in the Bible where it says you've got to look after the trees and you've got to look after the forest. Otherwise, the sort of saying is hot coals will be poured upon your head. And that's kind of the way it is. Basically, if you don't follow the path of God, you're leading your life into pretty much destruction. And the way I look at it now is you can shift towards God or you can shift towards the devil. If you shift towards the devil, you're basically you're going to end up like P. Diddy, you know what I mean? Because if you sin enough, it'll catch up with you. And that leads on to the next thing, which is fingerprints. So you can't hide the fact that God gave you a different fingerprint, everybody a different fingerprint. There's nothing you can do unless you put gloves on, and that's where they talk about in the Bible, when you bite the apple of knowledge, that's basically once you bite the apple of knowledge. And that's another thing, these guys, when they know God's real, they've got proof God's real. They just don't want you to know about it. They want you to sin. They want you to lead yourself down this path of destruction and ultimately suffer. The fingerprint. So once you learn that the fingerprint is different and you take a bite of this knowledge of the apple of knowledge, and that's why the apple sign has a bite out of it, because they know God's real as well. The knowledge is sort of you kind of don't need to know all this stuff when you've got God on your side. But the fingerprint is more solid proof that God is real. And one thing I want to say is a little motto or a little saying that other people I've heard say. So a painting is a proof of a painter. Right? A building is a proof of a builder. Whether that painter's dead or whether that builder's dead, that is evidence of a builder. So what are you going to say about the world, what are you going to say? There's nothing you can say. All you can say is amen. And anyway, big shout out to Mike Melanges, who hit 1 million subs from rapping about God. So just to finish this off, I'm going to rap the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. Thou is the power, kingdom, and the glory forever and ever, Lord. Amen. Woo! Right, guys, believe in God, because it's just so much better. You can didify or Jesusify. Jesus or P. Diddy, which one do you choose, eh? And just to say, Ellen DeGenerate, fuck off back to fucking America, will you? Fucking horrible. Fucking, you know what she said about P. Diddy? And this is more proof that the devil's real as well. So if the devil real, God's real. Just go and see what she tweeted in 2016 about Diddy. It's cringe, man. People need Jesus. quickly.